It's another edition of day drinking with Helen and the idiot. It's the beer video, and we're doing this in the afternoon, which we don't normally do, but schedules are weird, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to go see Panopticon tonight. So,
So fucking jealous. A friend of mine just posted something on Instagram about having an extra ticket, and I was like, how fast can I get to Minnesota? Oh well. Yeah, their Panopticon is not coming our way on this tour, so following suit of every other metal band that pretty much just ignores Pittsburgh now because we don't have any venues.
well, I think honestly, if it makes you feel better, most bands ignore Minneapolis just because there's a whole lot of nothing here,
Yeah.
unless you want to play in Mexico and then just drive for like a day and a half.
Yeah.
But Austin lives in Minnesota, so I guess he can't. It wouldn't make a ton of sense to ignore us.
It would be kind of silly. Yeah. We part of our problem with Pittsburgh, well, a lot of this is pandemic related because like we had a lot of venues and they were doing really well and then shit happened. But there's also I can't think of what it's called. Right across the border into Ohio, there's I think it's called West Side Bowl. Um, most of the bands have been going there instead. And from what I've been told from somebody who books bands is that a lot of the Pittsburgh venues don't offer a lot of great amenities and a lot of good, pay and stuff like that. And apparently West Side Bowl kind of like rolls out the red carpet. So I can't blame them. I'm like, you're on a tour and you're not making a lot of money as it is. And if like some building's gonna fucking feed you and, put you in a place that's not, some dank basement, I get it.
Yeah, I think actually I heard when I was growing up in Maine, there was like a venue like way the fuck like off the beaten path, like just way in the eastern part of the state, and like national touring bands got booked there pretty frequently. And apparently, like it just came down to like the owner was really nice and would let them like stay at her house for free and stuff.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass to get there, but like you're gonna get like treated really well once you do arrive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, good. I mean, good, really. I mean, I mean this venue in Ohio is not that far from me. I mean, I can probably get there in like an hour, but I'm not doing that on like a Tuesday night, just not. I'm getting too old for this shit, as they say. Um, though I did go Tuesday night to see Carcass and Crypta and the action figure band. I did have to Harm's Way, where three-fifths of their or two-fifths of their bands look like they're roided out. Their singer is so huge he can barely move his arm. Like he's just gigantic, like as like muscular.
I didn't even Google image search after you mentioned that, and I feel like I should have because now I'm so curious.
There's a meme that Harm's Way is in that I guarantee you've seen. Because, like, they didn't do this on this show because, like, the stage they were on wasn't that big, but their singer does this weird dance. And people have taken all these different songs and put it to this that, like, is, obviously not their song, like other weird shit. So, I was already kind of going in amused. But they were fine, whatever. I mean, it's fine. I just basically sat through them because, it was like Crypta opened and then they were second and then Carcass was third and then the headliner that I didn't stay for was last.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen Hatebreed a couple times, like not against my will, but always like as part of a mixed bill.
Yep.
And I don't know, they've never been interesting to me.
No, it's just not my thing. Yeah, every time I've seen them, it's because, yeah, they're like on a package bill or so. I've never willingly parted with money to buy a ticket specifically to see Hatebreed. Although funny, you know who else falls in that category of a band I've seen a bunch of times and have never directly paid money to see is Slayer. I've seen Slayer a bunch of times, but it's always been like Ozfest or like, some package tour that they're on where I'm like, my reason for going wasn't to see Slayer, but I saw them. So and I like Slayer, so it's not like a big deal. But yeah, I've never like directly paid to see Slayer.
Yeah, I saw Slayer in 2003. So they were touring off probably oh no, this was God Hates Us All, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think they knew at the time at least what their good material actually is. So they just played all of Rain and Blood start to finish, and they played like one song each from every album post like 1990.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. And Arch Enemy opened. They were
I
meh.
saw that tour.
Yeah, I think this was off their kind of somewhat lackluster album in like 2004.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about that album very much, but I did like the one before that, and they played mostly songs from that. But yeah, Hate Breed between those two is just like, like they're so fucking boring. Like it's just every single song sounds like every other song. It's just like a fucking mass of musical glop
Yeah.
just going on for 45 minutes. It's just Christ, I can't.
Well, it's funny. We're going to see Opeth Saturday night. Jaden and I are going to see Opeth. I haven't seen Opeth in about 10 years. And the last time I saw them, they were on a package bill with Mastodon and at the time, relatively unknown band, Ghost. Um, so,
Oh, I remember that tour.
mhm.
I didn't see it myself, but
But I
my
didn't,
flexing rights are I saw Ghost on their first
yeah,
ever headlining US tour. They played in a not a tiny club, but a pretty small, dingy club in downtown St. Paul. And
yeah. Well, I didn't stay for Mastodon because I really enjoy the first four Mastodon records a lot. I've seen Mastodon a handful of times. They've never been good live. I've never seen a good Mastodon show ever. Like they always sound muddy. There's like always like when they'll start playing songs, I'm like, I don't know what this song is. And it takes a while for it like the chorus will hit or something. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what this is. I don't know. I've just never been impressed with them live, and so I didn't stay.
that reminds me of the one time I saw Down at a festival. I think it was right after Phil Anselmo had gotten in trouble for saying something ignorant.
Yeah. Which time?
Yeah, right. Uh, so like he gets on stage and like dude is like obviously pretty drunk. So and like you could tell like the band members were trying to do like damage control because like every time he try to start talking, they would start a song.
Yeah, good call. I saw
Yeah.
Superjoint one time. Again, Ozfest or something like that. And Phil Anselmo was fucking so off his game for probably obvious reasons. It was a mess. Um, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I guess he's always been kind of like that, but
Yeah,
yeah. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think the band hired him for his like vast intelligence or solid judgment.
Boy, I hope not. Otherwise, otherwise they failed miserably in their mission. Beers. I think
Yes.
I went first last week.
I can't remember, so let's go with that.
Yeah.
I have to spend too much time hashing it out. I was going to do the Wild Mind malt liquor, but I drank that a couple days ago. It was, um, you know, it tasted like malt liquor, but didn't really feel as much like I was poisoning myself. So
Well, that's not bad.
I got one from our friends at Wooden Ship. Is this a collab? I don't think so. Oh, they just have some different label art. Got this cool skull guy. It's a Taffel beer, a Belgian table beer with tea. It's very low ABV, like around 3%. Might remember a little while ago I did a kvass they put out, which is also pretty low ABV.
Yeah. Yeah, most table beers are kind of low, right? That's like sort of one of their characteristics. That is an
Uh,
interesting color.
yeah, I was not expecting that. It's kind of a peach rose gold. I don't know, is millennial pink? Little generation joke for you. I am a millennial. That is a lovely color, kind of a slightly pink shaded. Um, Orange.
It really makes Cousin Eddie's flesh pop.
Yeah, right. I was not expecting this to be this sweet.
Huh.
Hmm. Good. It's not like kind of that weird sludgy sweetness you get with some other like flavored beers.
Oh, that's a positive.
Yeah. Um, so this kind of tastes like an iced tea to me.
Oh.
Like that is kind of the kind of makes sense. Like a lot of Belgian beers, like of all kind of varieties, like Abbey ales or blondes, or have like that sweetness to them. You
Hmm.
know? Uh, so it's that basically.
So the tea then is really coming through.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, Kind of reminds me of like I actually have a white tea scented perfume, and that is what this flavor reminds me of. Not to say that it's like straight like drinking a bottle of perfume, but it kind of tastes the way that stuff smells.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's pleasant, nice little refresher. Um, I don't know. I guess if I was more into the idea of being an influencer, I would be like, this color, it's lovely and perfect.
It's a great color. Yeah. I mean, and I'm seeing it through a computer screen. I'm sure it looks better in person.
Yeah, just slap a filter on that.
By the way, in one of the comments last week, God, I forget his name. You're the friend you went
Oh,
to college with. What's that?
yeah. Oh, that's Ben. Hi, Ben.
Yes. He uh he gave us an idea that said if we ever get popular enough to make merch, our shirts should say substantial head. Fucking
Yeah,
perfect. It
yes.
I
Gee, love it. Let's do it.
We now need to get more people watching this so that I can justify making t-shirts. But great fucking idea, and I will figure out some way to pay tribute to him if and when this day arrives.
Yes.
So
Agree. Um,
I howled with laughter when I saw that comment.
Good one. So I feel like I should show off my shirt.
Yes.
As you know, I am going to Norway
Yes.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Uh, I'm staying there for about a week. And so I decided to wear this shirt, which is from Apollon. Apollon is a coffee and beer and record establishment in downtown Bergen.
Nice.
Um, this is one of their bartenders, the oldest one that works there. They photoshopped him wearing corpse paint, and they also kind of adapted the Dark Throne logo, and it says True Norwegian Record Store.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Apollon is fantastic. Also kind of appropriate because Panopticon did an in-store appearance there when Austin was in Norway.
Makes
So,
sense. Yeah.
um, yeah, my friend who lives there sent me footage of them performing, and I was like, on my way to work at the time, so I replied just cry typing, like gritted teeth, like, looks like you guys are having a really good time.
I'm going to work.
Yeah.
Sorry, oh, my allergies. My eyes are so itchy. Well, I'm wearing a Julie Christmas shirt. It's her new record. Her new record's called "Ridiculous and Full of Blood," which I think is such a good t record title. I love Julie Christmas anyway, and then it was just like completely sold with that album title. And the record's great. She's
Matt and I saw her at Roadburn and she was terrific. One of the real highlights, I think. And I bought him a limited edition shirt. I think that was his birthday present that year. So
Yeah, she's great. I love her. Go listen to Julie Christmas. She has some great bands too, like Made Out of Babies and Battle of Mice, that don't exist anymore, but you can always go back. Oh, this beer is sweating. Hold on a second. You can always go back and find it. So my beer is from Three Floyds.
yay.
So I've done a version of this before, but this is a different version. It's called Dreadnought. And so that's the cover. And this one
I
is,
won actually, so let's see what you think.
you've had this one?
Yeah, I think I had it as part of a variety pack. That's their standard double IPA, right? Or
Yeah,
Imperial.
but
I
this
don't
one, I think has some different stuff in it. I could be wrong. So it's an Imperial India Pale Ale with an intense citrus hop aroma, a huge malt body, and a crispy finish. Unless they just changed the can art and I'm now cheating and doing this beer video wrong, but I don't think so. So, and I'm
know.
drinking out of a Friday the 13th glass because it's the 13th and it's spooky season.
Hey, oh,
Hey.
while you're opening.
Oh, no, 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 no. Ah, shit.
Okay there, Chief?
Good Lord. It just exploded.
Oh no.
God damn it. Uh,
Okay.
technical difficulty. Stand by.
Well,
I
that's
don't know how that happened because I didn't drop this beer. Oh boy, this is not going well. Oh, Jesus.
well, I was gonna say while we're waiting for that substantial head to settle, what horror movies are we looking forward to watching or rewatching this season?
Look at that. Substantial head.
Jesus. Well,
Oh,
give that
that's a head marathon. It's head country. It's
stop. Stop.
um so I'm pretty how do I put this? Boring when it comes to like stuff I watch over Halloween, just because I kind of just go to the classics, like Halloween. I love the first three Halloween movies. I know Halloween 3 is kind of a sticking point for some people. I love Halloween 3 so much. So much. Um, so I'll watch those. One that I watch every year is oh Christ, I can't think what it's called now. Oh, my brain. Oh my God, Tom Hanks is in it.
The Burbs.
The Burbs. I watch
Okay.
I watch The Burbs every year. And I watch Over the Garden Wall, which is a delightful cartoon series that is like 10 episodes long. You can watch it in like an hour and a half, the whole thing, like the whole season, you
Yeah,
know.
I think it's like really, really well art directed.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
I just love it. I think it's great. And this year, because it's the 10th anniversary, they are doing a stop animation thing in celebration of it. So
oh,
I think that's coming out on the 3rd of November. So yeah, so that's a thing that you could look forward to. I think we're almost ready to, that head is still hanging in there. But
yeah. Matt and I just watched The Witch, which I had seen
that's
before.
another one.
He had not. Um, I'm a big fan, obviously. Uh, yeah, I think like it's really kind of a good showcase of like very good actors.
Yeah,
Every year is really like really swinging fences. And I especially like Ralph Ineson who plays the dad.
yeah.
Um,
Black Phillip almost fucking killed.
yeah, his interview about Black Phillip was very funny. I loved it.
Yeah,
And Kate Dickey, who plays the mom, the thing I really like about her is she's an immensely talented actress with
yeah,
like a great range of emotional expression. She's also like, and I don't mean this as an insult, she's got kind of a weird looking face. And I really wish more kind of weird looking people were cast in big Hollywood movies. Because I don't know, it kind of gets exhausting seeing like the same people with who've gotten like the same five plastic surgery procedures, just like in
yeah,
every.
yeah. It's yeah. I like characteristic faces and like yeah, like imperfections. I think that yeah, I don't need to see a million beautiful people. Like show me somebody who looks like a human. And
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I think this happens obviously more with women, but like there's
Oh
also
yeah.
a homogenization of men. Like people always compare Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine, like the various X-Men movies. Like in the first one, he's like, he's in good shape, but that is a shape a regular guy can achieve.
Yeah.
But The later ones, it's just like, okay, there's some intervention going on here. Woof.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh,
Oh, the beer. I'm sorry. I just realized I haven't talked about the beer.
uh, all right, please, by all means. I think it's probably settled by now, right?
Yeah, I've already had a couple sips. It's definitely very floral. That's the first thing I really got out of it. Not overly so, like it's not overwhelming, but there's definitely floral notes there. The citrus for sure, like kind of like a grapefruit style bitterness. And there is I don't think they have the IBUs on here, but I would guess they're a little high. Um, because it is, yeah, they don't. It is pretty bitter. This is 9.4% by the way. So yeah, this will get you nice and buzzed. But it's fine. Like it's not my favorite Three Floyds beer I've had. It's God, it's on my glasses. Like there's just it exploded everywhere.
Beer
Oh,
shrapnel.
what's
My God,
that?
just beer shrapnel everywhere.
Beer shrapnel all over the place. I tried to clean my glass off with my shirt, and I ended up just making the lens worse. And so now like half of my vision looks like I'm looking through a fog. Um, but yeah, I mean, but it's pleasant. Like it's a good IPA. It's not like a standard IPA that you're going to get somewhere. Like really, those floral notes and the citrus is kind of like the thing that makes this stand out a bit. And again, as noted, if you're not a fan of bitter beers, this probably isn't for you. I do like bitter beers, but even this one's kind of like a little bit more on the bitter side than I'm used to.
Remind me actually, like maybe message me like early tomorrow morning. I have two beers I've been meaning to send you,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're just like, sitting in the crisper drawer of my fridge, and like I can't see them normally when I open the fridge, so I just like forget they're there until I like am looking for a place to put the lettuce, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's
Those
Ryan.
beers, yeah.
I
I'll
think to send.
try. Oh God, I'll try to remember. My memory is I don't know this beer, but anyway, this beer. The other thing, sorry, it just popped in my head. The other thing this makes me think of is, like when you get through like, I don't know, you're like in the middle of spring whenever things are blooming and like you go out for a walk and you get that heavy pollen aroma that's in the air. That's
Yeah,
kind of in this beer a little bit. It kind of makes me think of like that like heavy growing period, like middle of spring, where yeah, you're going outside and it's just you're kind of smelling all of that new life coming to into being and like the pollen. So I like that. Like it to me, that's a good note. It makes me think of
no
well,
depression lifting. Like I remember when I first moved to Minnesota, like I had kind of a catastrophic series of life events happen like during the winter.
yeah,
So like I was even more seasonally depressed than usual. And then when the snow finally started melting,
yeah.
I just remember like, and my life was like actually starting to turn around as well. I just remember like being like, fuck you, I made it. I made it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's what this beer is. You are the dreadnought, Helen.
Oh boy. So we're gonna figure out how to do this when I'm in Norway, right? I
Yeah.
am 6 hours ahead of you.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try to figure something out because like I was thinking about Saturday. That might be tough because I have the Opeth show,
Okay. Uh,
but we can we can figure something out. We're both two relatively intelligent people.
yeah, I have some stuff. So I kind of
Yeah.
coincidentally booked my vacation when Bergen is having its international film festival.
Jeez.
So I checked actually um I checked the weather and it's like raining every single day when I'm there.
Of course.
So
Oh, I
uh,
saw that post the other day. Yeah, yeah. Because
yeah,
we have a mutual friend who I think responded like, "That's Bergen for you."
yeah. I think so I was like whatever, I'm like at it the film festival takes place at a variety of venues, but the one that's farthest away from my hotel is like a 10-minute walk. So I'm like,
Oh,
so I'm just going to the movies every day.
that's
Uh,
a great idea.
yeah, so I'm finally gonna see I Saw the TV Glow, which like I mean, if you have transgender friends, they perhaps have raved about this. I know a lot of mine have.
I
So
actually don't know about this, so if you can send me something on it, because I don't, yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
I'm going in somewhat blind, but
Okay.
I saw the trailer. It looks pretty promising. I'm seeing this stop motion movie by um, the guys who famously did a Peter Gabriel video in the 80s, I guess.
Oh, which one?
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer? Oh God, yeah, that,
Yeah. And they also did if you watch that like relatively well-regarded movie from the early 2000s about Frida Kahlo. They did the stop motion animation for the scene where she's in the hospital after her bus accident, which I always thought was like a pretty cool part of that movie.
yeah.
Anyway, so that's what I'm seeing on my actual birthday. And then let's see, I'm watching a wrestling themed horror movie called Dark Match, which incidentally has Chris Jericho in it as a cult leader.
Okay, okay, I know what you're talking about now. All right, yeah,
And let's see, a documentary called Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, which is about like the forcible removal of Patrice Lumumba in the Congo and like how I guess the US government tried to kind of like that made a lot of people mad because the guy was a pretty well-liked leader.
yeah.
I guess the US tried to launder that move by like having jazz musicians do PR for them. I did not know anything about this.
I
And this
do.
documentary is 2.5 hours long. So I'm like, oh boy, I'm strapping in for this. And what I'm watching on my last day there, like, is a little anime called Ghost Cat Anzu, which is, it's about a magical cat who's a ghost that helps a girl do stuff. I watched the trailer and like the cat actually seems kind of unhelpful. There's a scene where he tells the girl, like, I spent all the money you earned at your job. How, cat? Pachinko.
This sounds like a cat. Yeah, they've captured cats perfectly.
Classic cat move.
Yeah,
Um, So I don't know. I feel like that's a good variety of movies. I'm hopefully, if all my fucking flights are on time, fingers
yeah.
crossed, I am going to see Norwegian Death Metal Legends Cadaver. That show is happening the day I land. So um, my friend is hopefully getting us both on the guest list. If not, whatever, I'll pay to get in. But yeah, like I as I told him, like I will drink however much fucking coffee I have to. I will white knuckle my way through this show. God damn it.
Yeah, that's, you're on vacation. So you were just talking about that one movie where you said like people in the trans community are excited about it. I'm gonna kind of transition a little bit to I want to point out a record label called Riff Merchant. And they put out a lot of really doomy stuff. They have a split coming out between Body Void and Sun Rot that's coming out late November that I got a chance to hear. It's really good. They do a lot of awareness around the trans community and uh, you name it, just awareness, health. I don't want to go too much into it because there's a part of this that I don't think I'm allowed to talk about. But nothing bad, nothing bad. It's just I don't want to like unmask somebody. Um, but it's all good stuff. I mean, they're as big a supporter of the trans community that you're gonna find in heavy music, and plus they put out really good stuff. And one of them I'm gonna show you. This is a band called Cowardice, and so this is their new record, Activist. It is, and that's the back. This kind of has two covers, so that's like one and then the other. Um, but anyway, if you like Thou. There's some Thou, I guess, similarities to their music, but for the most part, kind of like Funeral Doom. But I love this record. This is one of my favorite records of the year. So again, Riff Merchant, the band is Cowardice, the record's Atavist. But they're good folks that are doing good things for people that need help and need protection and just want to live like normal human beings that they are. So anyway.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of good trans art, I don't know. Thankfully, um, Thankfully, you're not on Twitter. I guess this wasn't announced on Twitter. This was on Blue Sky, which at the moment seems like a somewhat healthier, less brain poisoning version of Twitter.
Yeah.
Hopefully stays that way. But Gretchen Felker Martin, who is a horror author who's quite talented and a trans women? No, there's just one of her. Anyway, her book, Manhunt, which is kind of a fun take on the zombie novel, is getting adapted by one of the Wachowski sisters.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you have a manhunt, the premise is there is a virus going around, which turns anyone with enough testosterone in their system into this feral beast that just wants to eat people. Just yeah.
wow.
Um,
Yeah.
this affects obviously men, but also trans women, and the two lead characters are trans women that like have to scavenge estrogen so this does not happen to them. And they do this right, like, and I didn't know this was a thing you could do. They do this by harvesting the testicles of the men creatures and eating them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's very gory and nasty. Oh, and there was a big flat created because J.K. Rowling dies in this book, and
Yeah.
there is a lot of misinformation about this. Like, it's like, oh, she's killed by a transgender. Like, oh,
Yeah.
and like she isn't actually, because like the premise of her death, right, is like, and this isn't even done by one of the main side character talks about this in like kind of in conversation, like incidentally. Um, so what happens is J.K. Rowling kind of gathers some of her shitty friends in like her castle and hires private security to like patrol the outside. It's kind
Yeah.
of a Mask of the Red Death situation. But one of her friends, PCOS. So if you're not familiar with that, it's like a health condition that cis women can get that affects the ovaries. A friend had it, really sucks. But one of the things that happens if you have PCOS is like your body produces much more testosterone than is normal
Oh,
for.
okay.
So her friend turns and just kills everyone in the castle, and somehow the whole thing catches on fire and collapses. Yeah, I personally thought that was quite clever.
Oh, poor JK.
Yeah, and J.K. Rowling finds out about this and tweets about this because of course she fucking did. God, it's can you imagine if she like just stayed the fuck off Twitter and tweeted like happy sorting hat day like twice a year?
Yeah, no, but then she wouldn't get what she's looking for, which is attention.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with the retconning of like the Harry Potter books being like the worst children's literature of all time. I don't think they're in the top 10, frankly.
Yeah,
Whatever. I enjoyed them when they came out. They definitely have some major flaws, but
sure.
taken apart from J.K. Rowling's slowly rotting brain, it's like, they're perfectly fine. But yeah, like definitely her current actions make a lot of things in those books read a lot more weird.
Sure. Yeah. And should. I mean, we have more information now. We are coming to the end because I've just got the warning from the secret software that we use to do this video. So we're gonna wrap it up. But I don't know, we'll be back next week and Helen will be in Norway. I will not be, and things will happen that we can't control.
Maybe it's going to end up like Barcelona, where I was drinking like 9% imperial ale on my hotel room floor at 9 a.m.
We can only hope. We can
Yeah.
only hope. All right, everybody, go drink a 9% ale on your roof at breakfast because it's fine, especially tomorrow.
Yep.